welcome to tonight's Halloween tutorial inspired by the Black Swan, and I've got my lenses in and my brows covered, which you don't have to do, but if you want to know how I do it, I'll link it below and up in the cards. I started out by priming my face using the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, and now I'm going in with the Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation and applying that sort of to the outer perimeter, the lower half of my face where we're not going to have the white makeup. Now I'm using a slightly damp beauty blender to apply a white cream makeup to pretty much the top half of my face. I'm starting at the center and working my way out, and I am taking it back to my hairline, but I'm not blending it back into my hair. I'm then taking it down onto my nose, and then we're going to blend it down on the cheeks to pretty much where we're going to contour. I'm using the pointy end of the beauty blender to get into the smaller areas, and then I'm also using a brush to help blend it out around the nose. I do apply it to the bottom of my nose, and then I'm blending it out down toward my mouth. Once I'm all blended out, I'm going in with a translucent setting powder and just pressing that all over the face to make sure that everything is locked in, and I'm using a smaller fluffy brush to apply that to the smaller areas of the face, and then I'm taking a big fluffy brush to brush away any excess. To contour, I'm using the NYX HD blush in the shade Taupe, and I'm applying that along the cheekbones, blending it down toward the corners of the mouth. And I'm also applying that along the jawline and under the chin a little bit. For that signature eye look, I'm using a black gel liner, and I'm starting out by applying it with a flat shadow brush just to get the rough shape. And I started by creating that a little bit lower than I thought I would want it so that I would be able to build it up. Since we're working with a black gel liner on a white, it'll be a lot easier to add on rather than take away. The shape you create here is going to be different on pretty much every person depending on your eye shape and how much lid space you have, which is why I wanted to cover my brows, because I wanted to make the shape a little bit thinner than it would have been if I just went off of my natural brows like she does in the movie. So for me, I took it from the top of my nose contour up to just underneath my brow, and then curved it down and up into a wing. And then for the lower part, I just connected it to my outer corner and aligned it up with that top wing. Then once I had that basic shape, I went in and created a thick line along the lower lash line using a smaller angled brush. And I continued on with that brush to really sharpen up those edges on the top. And here I decided to flatten out that wing shape so that it had less of a curve to it. And then I'm also using this angled brush to start creating that pointed shape that goes from the inner corners down to the contours of the nose. So I'm first creating that outline and then filling in with the gel liner. You can always change up this shape if you find that it doesn't really look right on you. So just take a look at all the reference photos and kind of play around with it on yourself to see what looks best. At this point, I thought my contour needed to be a bit darker, so I'm going in and adding some of that same color that we used earlier. Then I'm applying a natural rosy tone of blush to the cheeks, just a little bit, so I'm tapping off my brush to get any excess off, and then I'm just blending that along the tops of the contours and then up onto the apples of the cheeks a little bit. Next, I'm going in with a metallic silver eyeliner. This one is from NYX, and I'm first applying this to my mobile lid and then blending out the edges. Then I'm going to set that in place using one of the NYX Prismatic Shadows. This one's in the shade Tin, and I'm just going to pack that all over that silver eyeliner. I then decided to go over the black gel liner with a matte black eyeshadow just to darken everything up a little bit and help set that eyeliner in place. Now going back to that silver eyeliner, I am starting to create the lines and the pattern that she has over the black. And there's not really a wrong way that you can go about this. I'm just taking some lines and following the curve of those wings, and then I'm connecting and creating thicker spots in some areas, and I'm connecting it to the silver eyeshadow on the lid in some places. And then at the inner corner, I'm following that same pointed shape, and I'm just using my reference photos to help me out a little bit as well. The one place I recall her not having any silver though is along that lower lash line, so I am taking it along that bottom part of the wing and then I'm kind of blending it in with my fingers at the inner corners. Then I'm just going to do the same thing to the other eye. So I am trying to get like the general shapes the same for the most part, but I'm not really worried about it being too symmetrical. Once I'm done with the silver, I'm going back in with the black gel liner on that angled brush, and I'm just darkening some of the black spots to add more contrast. Once I was all done with the eyes, I again felt like I needed to intensify my contours. So I'm going in with a bit of a darker taupe shade and just adding that to the back of the cheek contours, blending that out, and then adding it along the jawline and under the bottom lip and a little bit to my nose as well. Now I've curled my lashes and I'm applying some black mascara to top and bottom lashes, and if you are a lash person, feel free to add some falsies. For the lips, I'm using Kat Von D's liquid lipstick in the shade Vampira, and I'm just applying that all over to my natural lip shape. Then once that is pretty much dry, I'm taking a kind of similar shimmery berry shade of eyeshadow and just tapping that onto the center of my lips using my finger and blending it out just to give the lips a little bit of shine. And this look wouldn't be complete without doing the hands, which I almost forgot. So I'm using a black body paint to paint the back of my hand really unevenly, and then I'm taking that paint and bringing it up onto the fingers, and I'm going to bend my fingers so that I can get into the little crevices and the wrinkles on my fingers. I'm doing that to all of my fingers and my thumb as well. So this is the basic shape that we want, and then we're going to go back in with that metallic silver eyeliner that we used on the eyes, and we're pretty much going to do the same kind of line and texture that we created on the eyes. But the main lines I'm taking up are on the fingers and the thumb, as well as some further down onto the wrist and the arm. And then I'm also creating some thicker spots and connecting some of the lines, and I'm using a lighter pressure with my hand to help thin out some of the ends. Now I just need to repeat that on my other hand, and that's going to complete the makeup portion for this look. And this is my crown, which is made out of hot glue, and I'm going to be making a video more about how I made it, so stay tuned for that. It should be up tomorrow. But for now, this is what it looks like. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out, I must say. And also in the video that's going up tomorrow, I'm going to show and talk more about how I did the top. So if you're interested in that, be sure to check back tomorrow night. But for now, this look is complete. So I hope that you guys really enjoyed it. I had a ton of fun with it. It's definitely one of my favorites now. But thank you guys so much for watching and for tuning in this Halloween season. Remember to check out all the information down in the description, and I hope to see you tomorrow.